hope it's right.
Welcome to Squatchin' Holler.
In the mist where the trees lean low, Squatchin' Holler's got a tale to show. Whispers creep like a creature's faint howl. Every shadow's got a secret to growl. Monsters rise where the stories are told. Squatchin' Holler where the legends are born. Are they here? Are they gone? Who can say? In the holler, the truth just slips away. Huge footprints fade where the creek runs thin. A lantern sways, let the search begin. Rustling leaves, but there's no one near. Is it the wind or the beast you fear? Every echo's a question, every rustle's a clue. Squatchin' Holler's got its eyes on you. Monsters rise where the stories are torn. Squatchin' Holler where the legends are born. Are they here? Are they gone? Who can say?
And now, with your Squatchin' Holler hosts, Roger Williams, Amanda Stowers, and Ashley Range. Remember, this podcast can be downloaded everywhere great podcasts are found. And now the show.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back, Amanda.
Hey, Roger. Yes, glad to be back.
How did it go? I'm always like, I tell everybody I'm like a proud dad when you're out doing something
Aw.
Bigfoot.
No, it went great. I got to jump into chat there for a few seconds, and I saw that you shared the pictures of my little setup that I had there. Yeah, the library. It was like I was a little what's the word I'm looking for? A little bit of imposter syndrome going on. I walk in there's like a legit conference room with a big screen and everything. I was like, oh man, I'm hitting the big leagues now. Okay.
Well,
And
congratulations. We missed
yeah,
you.
it was nice. Well, I appreciate that. I missed you guys too, and yeah, glad to be back. It was a lot of fun. It wasn't a big crowd that showed up, but the people who did show up were very engaged. They had actually some really, really good questions that they brought up, and I felt like I shared the information that good just kind of get the what's the word I'm looking for, your Bigfoot 101 points out
Yeah.
there to them, get their minds thinking, what you can fit into like a little 30-minute segment. But it was good. It was a lot of fun. I enjoy doing those.
Oh, quality over quantity is always better.
Exactly.
So y'all, thank y'all for being here tonight. Everybody in chat already. Our guest tonight, we always talk about people you meet. I met this guy by accident, and he helped me. He didn't realize it, and I'm gonna show y'all a quick clip. I may bring Ryan on right quick, and then show the clip while he's on here. Hey Ryan, how's it going, buddy?
Howdy doody, folks. Good evening. Can I just get this to your theme song at the beginning? And can I get a copy of
Yes.
it to blast in my car with my kids? Come on now.
Hey, that's Doug Highcheck's genius there. And if you
Yeah,
think
that's all Doug. He does. They did a fantastic job with that thing. It gets you pumped for sure. I love it.
if you think that's a banger, the 4-minute outro is better.
Well, I can't wait to stick around at the end then. Let's go.
All right. So I'm gonna show this clip. You've seen it. Just to set it up, I went to my very first Bigfoot conference in 23. My son and I ended up on stage. I was scared to death. Ryan, I won't tell what advice he gave me. It was awesome. Cliff was actually encouraging. I got up there, did my thing, come off of it, and on the way home, I was thinking, "That wasn't so bad." But it was, but still. And Ryan, you do a great job. I mean, I wished I had half your energy. I mean,
Ah,
you
oh,
keep
we
the
all
crowd
do, and
going.
I got a little help from the Squatch juice, so don't think it's all natural these days. But yeah, mostly I don't know what it is. Some people just like a stage. I was supposed to be a pro soccer player, blew my knee out. Now I'm a weirdo, Bigfoot, a cryptozoologist, and I love it. But it's also time spent, right? I've just done it so much now that now I'm
Right.
starting to play and have fun with it, and it's really neat. So anyone listening, whatever you do, just stick with it long enough, and you can get real damn good at it. Which you guys are already there. So what are you guys on?
No,
Because you got there quick.
no, we're Doug
We're
asked us,
trying.
we interviewed him on the other channel that we started and before we moved over.
Yeah.
And backstage, he said, "Where did you guys get your training?" And we all looked at each other like, "What are you talking about?" We don't. We had
Hoping
a
for radio. You
we
guys.
yeah, we had a store on the interstate for 30 years, and I talked to people from all over the world about every subject you could think of. So maybe that helped. I don't know. But Ryan, if you hadn't seen the show before, we take the subject seriously. We don't take ourselves too seriously. It's like being on the porch or around the fire. Anything goes.
Mhm.
So we don't judge, and because the reality of it is we're speculating. We only know what we've experienced, and it's
Mhm.
Mhm.
important to dig into nature and see what's possible now with other animals. And
Yeah.
if you do that, it'll blow you away, actually, and what used to be fantasy is now science. So, um, you know, my son was the one that got me on that track. He said, "How would you like to have been the first guy to come back and explain a chameleon?" And I'm like, "He might have burned him at the stake," but,
Yeah.
uh,
Right.
let me show this clip right quick for the people who hadn't seen it. Ryan is the one talking, and he's on stage. I come off, and I'm very relieved I didn't have a heart attack and die on stage.
He crushed it. He's being humble. He crushed it.
Amanda, what did I do with it? There it is. I got it. Here we
It's
go.
on
10
there.
seconds.
Yeah, Brian King Shot. I love the encounters part, man. Everyone enjoyed it?
And bring back
You look
memories.
like you were like, "Oh my god, I did it.
Oh my God.
Oh my
Yeah.
god." Yeah.
Cliff was like, see, you made it. And I was like, oh, I don't know how. But anyway, it was a
Yeah.
great experience. And I appreciate you, giving me some encouragement and helping me out. So
Of course, man. That's what we're here for. Eventually, at some point, I don't care where you are in your life, you're going to learn we're here to help lift each other up. And the more we do that, the faster we get to a better playground for all of us. And all we want to do is play. We're all Peter Pans, and Wendy's. We are. You know what I mean? And you can live in both. That's the only reason I don't like that movie with Robin Williams, because you can live in both, but that's another story. Yeah.
Well, Amanda, if you don't know, she works at the Bigfoot Museum in North Georgia with David Bacara. So she takes reports all day, talks about Bigfoot all day long. She's living the dream. Maybe one of these days I'll have a little Bigfoot museum or something, but
No, it reminds me of working on finding Bigfoot. Like, for a small chunk of my life, I was forced, whether I liked it or not, to be
Mhm.
Bigfoot centric. And it turned out
Exactly.
to be one of the best times, and arguably the best time professional of my whole life. So I am so happy for you that you've somehow found your way into this little niche that's this beautiful thing called Bigfoot, and you have
Mhm.
a home. That's wonderful. It's
well,
wonderful.
I am so very blessed to have that,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's an honor, actually, like I said, to take something that I just have had experiences with, that I'm passionate about, and
Mhm.
it's literally my day-to-day job, what more can you ask?
Nothing. Not You've manifested something beautiful. So keep it up. Just don't steal it all from the rest of us.
that's what
I share, I promise.
She's too talented. Damn it.
I, people, for those of you who might not know, you go by RPG.
Yep.
Just about everybody calls you that. Tate H calls you something a little different, but I won't get into that.
I was
Well,
thinking of that. Let me pull
That's
this
Tate
up
the
real
Great. He
quick.
can call me whatever he wants.
Yeah. So you've
He
already got a shout out here in the comments section from Legend Seekers Network.
Oh, that's the network, people. We're gonna have to do a plug here now. We got an
Yep,
amazing
yep.
network coming out following the three of us. This young man, Daniel Lee Barnett, and Chris Alsford. How tall is he? As we go around and we go out with kids and families and everyone, and we make it more accessible, but just as fun. So it's everything that Daniel fell in love with that helped give him his voice, which is Expedition Bigfoot, Finding Bigfoot, these beautiful documentaries of people in our space put together, watching people like yourself put on amazing podcasts, seeing people speak well. It's just, it's all coming together. So it's beautiful. But anyway, on that network, you'll see this series where we go look for the unknown animals of the world. It's really fun.
and a little note here. Daniel, I think I interviewed him like when I first started, maybe 2.5, 3 years ago.
Oh, trust me, he
We
let me know. I knew him before you. I was like, okay, 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 okay.
Oh man, it's not a competition, Danny.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
It is. Yeah, he was very impressive. He made me question when we go out and do our thing. I was ill prepared compared to Daniel. He told me what I needed in my pack and
Yeah.
what and he was 100% correct. So because of him, I have it here actually, and I've got everything I might need. So thank you, Daniel.
Yeah, you got your Swiss Army pack.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know. Getting into this subject and doing what you've done, you've actually had a Class A sighting, right? In
Yeah.
Florida.
Yeah, we moved in and it had all the elements of either a horror movie or the perfect place to cohabitate, aka any Bigfooter's dream. And we moved in, the house had been abandoned for at least 8 months or more, and it was tucked like a quarter mile off what used to be a dirt road, but then it was paved when we came. But then like 100-acre wood tucked back in on the river. It's part of Florida I didn't know about. I thought beaches and all the big sprawl, everything I didn't like
Mhm.
about Florida. Well, there's beautiful Swiss Family Robinson areas, and we found this one in there. We manifested it, by the way. And anyway, beautiful spot. And back there, not only was it abandoned for that amount of time, it was tucked on the river. It's on this little trail that comes from Starkey Park and winds all the way down the Coatee until it kind of gets a little too humany, I guess, let's say. But if I'm a large, intelligent ambush predator, relic hominid species, when the storms come and the river goes from being low to rushing, I am floating down that like a natural water slide. Animals are getting pushed out. It's grab and go food. It is the time in your life, God forbid, you take a little of the mushrooms growing under the cow poo. Now you're just having the most amazing time ever. And then you wake up the next morning. Uh-oh, I've got 30 minutes to get home before mom and dad wake up, right? So this thing is trekking back. Now, there were people riding dirt bikes at the time. So here's the scene. Kids are down on the swing and they're pushing. They're doing things that are universal, like attractant. They're laughing and giggling like babes, and they are doing trying to do owl calls. Not as good as dad, but they're getting there. But just imagine a chorus of them: mirth and joy and owls. And sidebar, every time the owls come around, if I had to bet everything I love, they're there. There's something about owls. We can go back to that. I hope someone can enlighten me, but I'm aware now. Anyway, so they're making owl calls. I'm over working on a house, because what they don't tell you about buying a house is that it's a money pit. Like Tom Hanks tried to warn us, but nobody has ever listened to him, okay? So I'm over there fixing it, because that's what you do. Suddenly you go, oh God, I got to fix that. And I don't know how, right? So you're YouTubing, but I got the boys. So the boy's playing in crap water and I'm pissed. And what happens when you're angry? This is why you never lose your cool, because your ability to stay present and notice when things are different or whatever get blocked out, because you're on a mission to tell the missus she screwed up, So I'm heading over to her. And the bushes start erupting on the side. Now, we had, at this point, the deer were still in the yard. We didn't have any big dogs yet. Don't get big dogs if you want Bigfoot encounters. But the deer would hit the woods, and when they did, the woods would do this. So I'm walking, and I see the woods do that, okay? Well, I immediately dismissed it because I was angry. I just said, oh, deer running into the woods, but I didn't see their little cute butts, which you normally see right before it happens, right? But I didn't think, because I was angry. Then I get blocked by a tree, and she goes, there's a man over there.
Oh,
And
Lord.
I'm like, yeah, man over there, right? It's a bunch of deer. God, they're not even smart enough to know what a man is. And I get over to her, and you can see it on her face. This is where when people ask, how do you know they're telling the truth and not just, ripping you one? they can't hide it. You can't hide it because she didn't know. She was like, you know, and I go, well, what? And she goes, well, it was a man. I go, well, what did he look like? She's like, I'm not sure. I'm like, well, was he short or tall? She's like, he was tall, I think. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, well, what was his color? She's like, a reddish brown. And now all of a sudden, the Bigfoot owner, ding, like I am like, no way. Okay, we're having a sighting. We're having a sighting. And she's like, no, no. And I'm like, yes, yes. And I start heading over there. So now I'm like, I got to find a track or anything. And all my luck in all my years, I never found a track like other people have. Like I've seen things, but nothing where you're just like, I must call Cliff Baratman. So anyway, I go over there and I put my hand up to where the branch is, and it's above my hand. I still have the branch there attached to the tree, and this thing's head was above it. So this was 9 feet tall. This was what people would say, that can't be in Florida. It's too hot down there. They don't need it. Well, guess what they do? They grow just as tall. They just don't grow as large. They don't need it. They don't need to be that good with the calories like that. Anyway, so she comes over, and once again, we slip back into the moment where you know this person is having a real experience and just had a Class A sighting, because she looks up at it and then her eyes go owl wide, and the first thing out of her mouth is, "Are we safe?" And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the first sighting, which I completely missed because I was being an angry jerk. That all I would have had to do was just keep looking or stop and look, and I would have saw it come out for a sec. And
Yeah.
another caveat to that, she said it moves so fast, she thought it was on the dirt bikes that were racing around before. And I go,
Oh,
"Do you hear any dirt
interesting.
bikes?" And back there is so verdant, I could barely walk through, you know, cockleburs, like palmettos cutting your legs up. No one's riding a bike through there. But how did they look when they move fast? You know what I mean? Like Irish dancers, like almost stiffer upper bodies with these legs that are just so perfect for mobility. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we saw it on the property and I missed it. Go ahead, make fun of me. I will take my lashings.
Well, look, when people say that, talk about Florida, my wife is from, around the Lakeland area, and we
Hey,
went. I saw him in there, yo, we're in for it now.
hey, don't make me take the shirt off. Don't make me do it.
Yeah, yeah.
This is
Oh, we'll get
a family audience.
we'll get to that later. He he had a question about, are you team shirt or no shirt? So, um, but when we went through the center of Florida, up Alligator Alley and all that, and I was surprised at the rolling hills, the farmland. It's everybody, even me, had the picture of the beaches and all that, and I've been through the north part, but
Yep.
we're riding through there, and what's the term? It looks squatchy in places, so I
Really
could
does,
see
doesn't
I
it?
could see that, yes.
Yeah.
Um,
I
Yeah.
made my husband laugh last time we went down through North Florida. I was like, "Man, it looks so squatchy through here." And he's like, "What?" That was
it
before the museum.
Oh, nice, nice. He's like, huh?
And
but,
right, he's like, "Are
you
you
know,
okay?" Like, "Yes, I am, I promise."
and that's the way it happens. I've seen things standing, and even hunting, if you've got a little different angle, there could be something blocking your view,
Yep.
and, it happens more than you would think. Like, I saw one and I was standing right there, I didn't see it. But the big thing is, to me, is as large as they are, I think they make noise when they want to, but they can get away stealthily too, and we don't know how they do that, but, you would think something that lives in the woods with, you know, soft feet would be able to do that, probably using rocks and, whatever, but it's
Well,
Actually,
there's
that's
a
okay.
gentleman named Tamarack Song, and he does these series of books on Native American tracking. And supposedly, I've never seen it, but I believe it. If you are adept enough and just a human being, right? And we believe, a lot of us believe these forest people are as intelligent, or at least even if they have more of a base intelligence, they've used it all for nature survival. And that is like, so what does that do to them? That makes them unstoppable in the woods, and it makes them invisible. And basically, they could sneak up on a deer that is just sitting in the grass, awake, and touch it before it even knows that it's got to it. That's what a human being can do. What are they capable of? They're ninja. And then if you look at the visible and the auditory spectrum, we're like little babies. We
yes.
barely, if they can vibrate, if they can do something with infrasound, who's to say they can't play that like a musical instrument and like cloak out or just distort enough where it's easier to blend and camouflage like the predator? We don't know. Government knows. Smithsonian
Yep.
knows. But we don't know, you know?
Well, I've even, I agree with you. I've had people say, when things happen, really close, screams and stuff like that, that their eyes vibrated and it kind of disoriented them.
Yep.
I had a report, one county south of here where two young hunters were walking out. I talked to these guys and went to the area, and something was tracking them out, and
Mhm.
it said it screamed so loud, he fell in the fetal position, dropped his rifle, and covering his ears. The other guy started projectile vomiting immediately. So
There's your
that
sign.
yeah, so, it's, it's a this subject leads to other truths also. We can get into that. It just carries you the more you find out about nature and what
Mhm.
there's really possible. I After my sighting at 14, I just assumed, like everybody else, it's here. That was scary enough, but as you get into it and all these theories come along, that sounds crazy. That's nutty. But you start digging into it,
Yeah.
and it's plausible. A lot of these theories are plausible. We just don't know yet.
Mhm.
Maybe one day we'll find out. But I don't take anything off the table at this point because we don't know enough. And if you get in that box, we don't need to we don't need to put ourselves in that and not pay attention to the rest of it. So, I always say the piece of the puzzle, you may hold a piece of the puzzle. That's why we encourage people to tell their stories, even if it's privately
Mhm.
and anonymously, so we can document it. So I know you you were immersed in the Finding Bigfoot show. How did that feel? I mean, like being a part of something like that, and did you expect it to blow up like it did?
Well, it had already gotten some legs by the time they brought me on. So I wasn't there in the very beginning. I came on, yeah, at a point where Bobes was like, "Man, we need someone with a good personality. We're gonna kill each other on this show. We need help." That kind of a. And I was like, "How am I gonna say no to a travel job where
Mhm.
I am paid fairly well to be in the woods all day with a bunch of weirdos, half or more of which are into Bigfoot?
Yeah, like, we do that for free now, right? So
Like, no, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's a turn from the phone, scream, and then go back to the phone and go, "Yeah, I guess I'll take it," you
yeah,
know? Yeah.
that that's kinda how it was when Doug called, like 3 hours of asking me if we wanted to join, and I'm like, yes, yes,
Oh,
yes." I
absolutely.
already said yes, but he's a
Right.
great guy. But
Yeah.
no, I wanna thank you for being one of the good people, uh,
Oh, thank you.
because it there's very few people that are not, but it's really people like you and people like we have in chat that we have a new person come in and they automatically make them feel welcome. There are people they'll lurk and they'll
Mhm,
finally they'll finally get comfortable enough. And that's what it's about. Cause like the conferences, I knew that day with those people that were there at the Gatlinburg conference, they were
mhm.
there for a reason.
Oh, yeah.
And I saw some amazing evidence on phones that day because 'cause I'm not shy. I was like, "Hey, what are you here for?" "Look at
Well,
this. Look what I've got."
thank you for doing that. Like, I try to encourage that so much from stage. Like, dude, talk to people. Everyone around you, one of them, you're 1 degree or staring at someone with an experience that they want to share. And that's the thing. 80% of the people there would never get on the stage. But I
Mhm,
bet you a large chunk of them have an encounter. So that's
mhm.
this like giant untapped resource. That's why working on finding Bigfoot and actually signing everybody in turned out to be the best job. It was a little like what you're doing, Amanda, because they would come up and they'd be like, "Hey, psst, I don't want to be on stage, but you want to hear some crazy shit,"
Yeah,
And I'm like, "Yes."
yeah.
And I would listen to all of them. And if you see the beauty and wherever you're at, even though if you wish to somewhere else, there's all sorts of great parts about it. And that was one of them. So you saying, you're collecting Bigfoot reports all day. I mean, that is the best bragging rights in our business, like possible, right? Like, would you just call up Cliff and go 42 today? And he's like 38, jerk, and he hangs up. You know what I mean? I interviewed more. I hope you do, by
Be
the way. I
like
hope you do.
Lord of the Rings where, like, you get a family group, and like, "It still only counts as 1."
Yeah, yeah, and you argue. I could see the show. I mean, Doug, if you're watching.
Oh, man, it's, I never dreamed, I started out with the in the room with green walls, a few Bigfoot stickers behind me. The first show I did on that other channel is so hilarious, it's cringe. But the thing is, I think the way we handle it, we welcome, all stories to, or whatever. And at one point, Ryan, you've and Amanda, y'all know this, but when I felt the change coming, when people started contacting me, it's like, "Hey, man, can I talk to you?
Mhm.
Don't use my name, but I
Yep.
need to talk to somebody." Greg in chat, Greg, my buddy in North Alabama here, he's hour and a half from me. Um, People call him. They call him from all over the world, because he's had all this stuff happen for 25, 26 years, and he just lays it out there. No BS, just like, "This is what happened," and, I don't know, we don't get into exactly what they could be or whatever. He has to get along with them because his man cave backs up to the Bankhead National Forest. So
Ooh,
so we found evidence. We found
wow.
we've been scared off the porch into the house, and many people in chat have been there. So anyway, yeah,
You just
it
casually dropped I love how you casually dropped the coolest thing you said. I mean, it's all cool, but like, "Oh, yeah," and then they chase us off the porch and they try to hand us margaritas. But, you're not invited to that yet, Ryan, piss off.
yeah, I mean, it's Hillary's like my little sister here. She said, "Rod, you ain't got no friends." So,
There you
oh,
go. There you
oh,
go.
hey,
Hey, that
we're
happens to everyone, and every decade it gets smaller and smaller. I just hate to
yep,
tell you, you know?
yep,
But the ones you keep in that circle are better and better and
That's true.
better.
That's true.
yep.
Or more
Well,
tolerant and more tolerant and more tolerant, yeah.
yeah,
True.
yeah, the ones that don't mind listening to the story for the thousandth time, so
Yep,
sitting
yep.
around sipping on a beer. Um, what has been the biggest, um, maybe surprise or benefit from all of this for you?
I
Put him on the
mean,
spot.
yeah, no, 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 it's a wonderful question, any questions that are out of the ordinary and take you away from the weather and sports and all topical and into, like, who you really are great. But you know, the world is really wonderful and there's still a lot of secrets. And do I want like everything we've ever been taught to be a lie? And like you really I mean, we really live in a matrix designed for us to maximize control. Like, no, I think that's what's inherent. None of us want that. But some of us really can't live in it. I tried, man. I went to corporate America. Leon's getting larger. Like I thank God I got laid off. I mean, I'd be dead. There's something God bless all those people that can do it. It's amazing. But to be able to be, like I said, on the fringe and create this beautiful life on the fringe, that's the blessing. The blessing is that I get to be weird all the time and I don't have to conform too much. Because every time I've tried to like really conform, it's hard for me. I don't, nobody should have to, as long as you're not hurting anybody, you should be able to be the most beautiful, authentic version of yourself. And part of the reason why Finding Bigfoot was so wonderful was we had a leader that as long as we got our damn job done, we were allowed to be our most expressive self, whatever that was. Let's just put it that way. And we were all dealing with different things. If we would have filmed Finding Bigfoot, the behind the scenes, it would the only other reality show, maybe Cops, would outlast it and outdo it. It was that amazing, like
Yeah.
amazing life lessons learned, hearts broken, crazy shit done. But yeah, just being fringe, bringing a fringe living at the edge of the campfire, where the stories happen. It's beautiful. And then, like you said, having people come to you with stuff because you live on the fringe. There's nothing better than getting that in your DM. It's like, hey, I know this is gonna sound crazy. All right. And then you're like, oh boy, here we go. And you
Like,
strap
oh,
in
it's
and you
about to
just
get good.
if they only knew how wonderful that was to get,
Mhm.
not like
Hmm.
ever bad, but shame game strong in America. Shame.
And because of the shows like that, we're able to do this because I went a long time before I could talk about this,
Yeah.
and it's become more, acceptable, and also it's evolved in, "No, it's this. We know it's this. No, it's this over here. I've seen this weird stuff," and everybody gnashing at each other. Now, the more you do this and you're out at night and you get into some of these weird areas with all the quartz laying around and you start seeing orbs, and like, wait a minute, what's going on here? It you have these mind twisting things happen. It may be a second, it may be 30 seconds or more, but you're looking for one thing that's strange, and I don't know why we do it still, but um then all of a sudden something else is introduced. Then you have to start checking in to, okay, what's the geology here? What's the history here? Then you find out a major battle happened back in, the 1700s. And
Mhm.
then, so I feel like some of these areas are ripe for a lot of this to happen. It doesn't mean it's connected, but it's awful strange that it's in certain areas are crazier than others.
Mhm.
Have you I mean, I'm sure you've noticed, different regions and different, even in the whole world, where some of these, encounters happen, but there's also other encounters with other things,
Mhm.
and it's hard to wrap your head around sometimes, but when you're out there in the middle of it, you it's there, you gotta accept it, so
That's
who
why,
knows?
like, the ultimate teams, should really have a Bigfooter or a naturalist, should have some kind of a ufologist or UFO hunter, alien hunter, and then someone really into the paranormal and ghosts and spirits. I mean, when we were on the Macy Indian tribe, the Native Americans there will tell you straight up, we don't know if we're dealing with Satonga, Bigfoot, or with spirits and our elders. So we
Mhm.
respect them both, and we communicate with both, and then we try to figure out which. One tends to be a little bit more playful most of the time, but sometimes it can be something different. So, I think it's a neat thing to go out and keep what you're saying, right, is to keep a wide open mind. Do never put yourself in a box until someone proves it and you're just like, damn, they beat me to it.
Yeah,
Do
yeah,
not put yourself in that box. And it's okay to dig roots and it's okay to fight for it
yeah.
as long as you're flexible enough to admit that it was wrong someday. That I think is the basis for a good researcher. And that's it, because you can stay curious and excited. And even when you're wrong, you can get excited. Imagine being able to have fun no matter what. It's not, rocket science. So yeah.
Well, I mean, like, right now, we always talk about, no egos in any of our groups or whatever, and it's so comfortable. I can throw an idea out there, and knowing it's probably dumb, but it spurs on better conversation. It loosens the crowd up. You know what I mean? Um, if and that's another thing. Getting too focused on one particular thing is not good either. And I've always said that also. I coached football for years. You Everybody has their talents to bring to the table,
Yep.
and you build a strong team exactly like you said, with people who have different expertise. And then I think you need a couple just good hunters, uh maybe people that grew up in the area, they can help also. So I don't know what Tate's saying. It says, well,
He's actually making a really good comment about you were talking about areas with high strangeness and stuff. He said, "Well, Mount Shasta has Bigfoot with paranormal things happening together. Then only mere hours is Bluff Creek, where general stuff there has been nothing out of the ordinary versus Mount Shasta." So, yeah, like I said,
So
they're very concentrated areas.
here's an angle on it, right? Let's just say in an imaginary world pre-flood, when there was megaflora and fauna, which science and pseudoscience do agree there was this time. They just can't agree how big, whatever. Uh,
Mhm,
let's say that Mount Shasta and some of these other things were part of something larger, whether it's fungal, whether it's a tree, who knows? It's something. But now let's take the micro level, which we are at now. The larger the tree you go near and you hug and you stand near, the more powerful it moves you towards a theta state. The more powerful it turns this electromagnetic world in you into some kind of antenna. And you communicate in this interesting way. Now, if you can suspend your disbelief or believe that maybe everything you've ever been taught is a lie,
mhm.
and that mountain is the base of something, and maybe it's just structurally, sacred math, like we're finding all these ancient temples are. Maybe it's just a perfect structure. Whatever it is, everything that is hidden is there. That's why it's a place of high strangeness, because in my humble opinion, it is the most powerful, or one of the power nodes, whatever you want to call it, whatever makes you, it's Olympus. I don't care. But just it's a place of healing, it's a place of power, and it's safe,
Mhm.
because They're underground, dude. The Mammoth Cave system, people don't know that shit runs from Maine all the way to New Mexico. There's an underground freeway here that people don't want to look at because we're always taught to look up there, or it's got to stay in the forest, or we're staring at our phones. But I'm telling you,
Mhm.
underground is the next place to explore. And it's dangerous and scary and fun. You're going to see a lot more explorers there coming up, in my very humble opinion. Plus, technology is getting better, so you can fly drones into crazy places, and
Yeah.
but
Well, you talk about the flood, and people bring up the mud floods, and we know that there are streets and 40-foot walls that, a few feet underground. And, that doesn't happen. I mean, people say, well, it probably happened over many millennia. Sometimes it happens in a couple days. You look at some of the explosions we've seen with Mount St. Helens, how that changed the landscape, how it very quickly, I've
Or
always
even
felt
just
like
recently with Hurricane Helene up here in Southern
absolutely.
Appalachia. I mean, it completely, changed the topography of some areas and buried buildings and streets
yeah.
and everything. So yeah, it can all happen really quick.
I don't have anything to base this on other than a feeling, but since I started school, I felt like the timeline was off. And why can't science and the Bible and stuff like that both be right? And you know what I mean? It's just like, no, I want to study this, I want to study this, but you kind of need to do the same thing with that. There's proof out there of the things that have happened. We just, like you said, we don't pay attention to it because it's beneath our feet. There's no telling what you walk over in cities on a day-to-day basis. So,
Mhm.
um, it's like I said, Bigfoot, this leads to other truths. And I like your stance on this because I feel the same way, and I know Amanda does.
Mhm.
Um, it it's mind blowing to some people, but once you dig in, it starts to make sense. So
Somebody had asked before if I'd ever gotten headaches like I had done on the show, and the answer is no, never, not again, ever. So take that for what it is, right? And if I'm the one getting blasted by infrasound, then let me tell you, I ran into the one jerk one that was having a bad day. All right, because that's not cool, man. I would easily give it up, but people ask that question, right? And I'll ask the two of you, like, if they're found out to be real, would you stop? Would you stop this? Would it kill the beauty and the passion and the allure of it to you, right?
no, no, because I've known for so long and been on an island by myself, it
Yep.
being where I'm at.
Yeah.
And now it's like, look, okay, now we can roll our sleeves up and get to work. And
Yep.
whether we need to leave them alone, we need to find out, we need to help protect them. Are they trying to tell us something? Are they here for other reasons?
Yep.
So no, there's so many questions that I would have. No, I believe it would just light my fire a little more. I can't speak for Amanda, but
No,
Yeah.
you're 100%. I'm here. I was also over here in the comment section. Somebody's mentioning some stuff. I'm like, ooh, I need to make sure to take a note of that. I can look it up later. I keep a notebook with me right here as we're talking. I'm like, ooh, I need to look that up later.
Mark of a good researcher, journaling, keeping
Yep,
track.
yep. I have many journals. This one's for the podcast specifically, and then I got another one for all my books and reports and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm the journal nerd.
We know who the brains are of this operation, Roger.
very clearly. I was on a panel on Doug's show a few weeks ago, and I'm looking around at all the brilliant minds on there, and he was doing trivia, and I said, "I'm just going to go ahead and make this quick. I'm the dumb one here, so
Oh,
we can have
no,
fun with it."
you're a lot more knowledgeable than you give yourself credit for, Roger.
But
But
humble is key, and all of them wish they had your voice to do this. That's the fact. That's the fact.
well, thank you. I don't hear it. I tell people when I listen to a recording, I sound like a butterbean and a hay bale had a baby, but you know,
No, no, it's just perfect. It's non-threatening, but masculine and fun and lighthearted, but serious. Like literally put 9 jerks in a room and let them listen to it and be like, well, I kind of like that guy. I don't know why. I just kind of like him. Yeah, I don't want to punch him. He's a good dude.
that,
I'm just
that comes
telling
in
you.
handy.
I'm telling you, spade's a
I,
spade, man.
well, I appreciate it. So I don't know. You said you had a theory. Was it hyperbaric Bigfoot?
Yeah, has Bigfoot found the fountain of youth? Why are they so big? Are there real world things that may be rare but could help to increase their size if they aren't just relic type of ape or even some kind of giant Nephilim? What if the Bible isn't right? What if, anthropologists aren't right? What could they be?
Mhm.
And I found a really interesting way, if you want me to go into this kind of rambling story about it. But this is
Absolutely.
Please do.
okay. So this is proof of why you stay wide open and you manifest what you want. It's that simple. What do you want to find Bigfoot? Do you want to have a class A or an experience that sets you off for life, like catching a 10-pound bass? You know what I mean? Like you're hooked. Then you've got to manifest. You've got to put it out into the world, and you've got to visualize it, and you've got to look at a map, and you got to go consistently. Like all the answers are there. All the greats did it. If you want to expedite the process, you got to go remote and you got to be consistent. It's cohabitation. It's establishing that you are not a threat, basically. And if you can do that, great. So anyway, I'm sitting here. I'm not going to say that it was late night and I was sitting on the toilet to hide from my kids and the wife and everything, because that's where I hide. But I was. And I'm flipping through the thing and I see this really interesting meme, right? Now, memes we dismiss immediately. We say that's not intelligent, that's not studied, that's not whatever. And I think a lot of it is, a lot of it's BS, but you just go look it up now. And now with AI, unless AI is lying about everything, you can look it up. But there's this guy, Dr. Joseph DeRudy. He did something called Project Neptune 100 off of Key Largo, Florida. And he stayed at depth. Okay. It was like 100 feet, or 100 days, but it was like 93 days, whatever. You got to decompress. But he was down a little over 30 feet, like 35 feet. And he had two things that were different on him for those 100 days. And that was increased atmospheric pressure and elevated O2 levels. Okay. And those are the only things you need to increase the size of anything. Cut to Japanese scientists took piranha and they increased those two factors in a tank, and they grew piranha to 4 times the size of any piranha ever grown. Just sit in that knowledge. If I'm not lying, well, I'm not lying. I'm passing on information that I found. So if that is true, so this guy's down at 35 feet for 100 days. That's only 3 months. That's not a lot of time, right? He comes up and everyone's like, holy shit, you look great. You look 10 years younger at least. What's going on? Like you're just not eating. Like what's happening? So they run all these tests. And what do they find? They find that his not chromosomes, his cholesterol levels are down 72 points. His stem cell count is up through the roof. We spend on average 25 minutes in REM sleep, where we physically and emotionally deal with all the drama of the day. He was spending 60 to 66% of his sleep in deep healing restoration. His chromosomes, which have these things called telomeres, they're a cap on it. I'm oversimplifying everything. So the real smart ass is on here. You can fill them in. But basically, as you age, your telomere gets shorter, right? This dude's increased by 20%. Now, you want to know the beauty of not being educated to this high level where I stand on a throne built by people that want me to be ignorant, is that I can say what happened. This dude was getting younger. This dude had found the fountain of youth, and you are not going to see any more experiments. You're not going to see anything else on it in the public because it's a wink. Cut to professional athletes. What do they use when they get out of a game? They cold plunge and they have hyperbaric chambers. What are ultra wealthy and elite have in their home for increased healing? Hyperbaric chambers. I ain't no genius, but if I had all the money in the world, my entire home would be a hyperbaric chamber. So all the time, as maximum time possible, I'm spending increased atmospheric pressure and increased oxygen levels. And so when you do that, they grow. So let's sidebar now. Okay, so if that's true, if all that stands true, is there a place in the world? So me, weirdo me, like, oh, I wonder if this has anything to do with Bigfoot. Probably not, but blah, blah, blah. So I get on there and I do it, and it goes, this is actually an amazing insight. Yes, there is something called earth wombs. So in the earth, and these are rare, or maybe they're not, because how many of us are exploring underground? And how many people know someone they actually trust as a spelunker? Don't trust the spelunkers. But underground, if you have the right confluence of water, which we know, you put cities on where there's confluences of water, it's like same as the beach, gives off negative ions. It's power. It's a power point. If we knew magic, we could do it there, right? But if you have that happening down there, you have a certain pressure of air, so it comes in, but it sits a little heavier. And if you just even have the slightest intellect, and you start bringing ghost orchids and certain types of moss and fungi that can be down there, that can grow in that environment, you can now enrich it, oxygen levels. And I'm not saying pre-flood, I'm not saying like through the roof, but just enough to take something that could be 15 feet tall and make it 7 or 8. How much bigger, right, are they than us? Not much bigger, right? They're bigger, but it's not like, 15 feet. We don't really hear about those. When you hear the majority of the reports, it's somewhere between 7 and 9, which is huge. But anyway, if they go into these places, they would then be able to access it, and if they stayed there for a good amount of time, because they're larger build, so their metabolism is better. So like anything with a larger frame, it does not have to eat as often. And I would imagine, as an ambush predator and fiercely intelligent, is the only thing that hunts with the same capabilities, if not better, than large cats, which have such a successful kill rate that they actually leave kills for other ones to distract them so they can eat their other one. I think they come up minimally. I think they run the freeway underneath. I think they steer the livers because they need the retinol, the vitamin A, so they can see so well underground. I think the reason they are still long-limbed and that ability has stayed with them rather than evolving out of it is because they don't not necessarily need it for trees. They need it for rocky cliffs face, inside and outside of the mountains. So they're doing spelunking type shit, and they need the long arms and the flexibility at the mid-ridge. Like, they're built to go anywhere. I think we approach it like Specious, right? Like, we still think we're the apex predator. We're the top. We are not. This thing is Thor. It is Beowulf. It is Grendel. It is the Hulk. It is whatever makes you go, wow, man, it's Superman. And they use that to go everywhere, because what would you do if you were godlike in your physical characteristics? I would swim across the ocean, right? All those ancient stories, like, dude, what would you do? I mean, that's what I would do. I would be like, Amanda, I love you. I'm going to climb this mountain, kill 2 caribou and carry them down on either shoulder, snap their back, swim across the ocean, go fight a samurai and come back. And you're going to be like, that's all,
That's all you got?
But that's, yeah. And I think they're smart. And if those things can exist, and we do know, okay, so I'm about to be published in Strange Knocks magazine. I want to give a shout out to my homegirl, Gwendolyn Purcell, got knockers, but it's about to be published. So if you want to read this article, and it breaks it down, it even tells you where to go to look for them, where to start an investigation to, go disprove my ass, do it. I would be proud to be disproven, but I'm so excited about this, because how often do you hear of like a new theory that is just fringe enough where you're like, oh, maybe. And I've got my buddy Jeff Davies from Alaskan Killer Bigfoot. He's a smarter man than I. He's digging into it, and he's starting to really break it down because it resonated with him. And remember, not everything everyone does is going to resonate with you, and that's okay. You don't have to hate it. You just go, not for me, not for me. Find the one that's for you, then find the tribe that's doing it, then join them and enjoy yourself. That's how it works. It's that simple. But if you like this and it resonates with you, like, by all means, explore it. So yeah. Hyperbaric.
Fantastic theory. Just the way you were explaining it, everything as you my brain was kind of going as you were explaining. I was like, yeah, that would make sense. And then as I was about to say, it's like, and then what if you rolled right on into it, and I didn't even get the question out. I'm like, this is great. I've actually never thought of this, and that is a fantastic theory.
I was thinking about pressures up on a mountain years ago, and people in chat are like,
think about in the ocean, the further down you go, the heavier the pressure is, because you're getting closer to the center of the earth. And so if you're going underground, you're obviously getting lower and stuff. We don't know how low some of these cave systems go in certain areas. We know that they connect, but do we have any idea how low they go? It's a possibility. It's really cool. That's a very interesting theory. I love it.
I'm impressed by the very start of that whole thing. He said, I saw a meme.
Yeah, right.
But that's the way it happens, though.
Us meme lords are the...
I'm sorry, man. I love my memes. Like, I wish I didn't, but, here we are. Here we are.
You're a millennial too, right?
No, I look that. Do you want to know what this year is actually a really important, it's one of those years, and I think I'm approaching it with style. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. A Gen Xer, okay, I'll take it.
Yeah, but I look.
Millennials, we love our memes.
Yeah. But I was born in the 12th. Follow numerology. That stuff is real, and I look young. You just people born on the 12th have younger faces. Go look. Ask who's born on the 12th. Check it out. It's real.
What about the
Um,
19th?
I
No, I don't know. I
I
only
don't.
know a few things about me. I barely touch upon it, but for anyone that's listening that is curious about something that I would say is more important than people give it credit, check out numerology. Put your birth date in and just enjoy. Just enjoy. That's all I'll say.
how comfortable would you be sharing your blood type?
Oh, come on, isn't it obvious? I'm B positive. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
For real? Or are you just making it up?
100%, man. I lucked out
Okay.
with the moniker RPG. I lucked out with B positive. I'm having a pretty blessed life over here. All right.
I got t-shirts made. Man, it's it's hard to know where to go because with this interview because there's so many ways.
Mhm.
Amanda, I think she said she was listening to you on Cliff and Bobo today, and I try to listen as much as I can. And I really, y'all, if you listen to that, pay the extra for the Patreon. It's worth it because you get to hear a lot. They're real anyway, but they're relaxed. You know, it's just awesome to hear the banter from the guests, and Matt Pruitt. I love Matt Pruitt. I met
Yep.
him, at the same place I met you, and what was wild RPG. So, he doesn't forget anything, right? Matt doesn't, and
Oh yeah, Matt is sharp, very sharp.
very sharp. And I was talking to him, and he said, "Where are you from?" I said, "Southern Middle Tennessee, Marshall County." He said, "Are you Roger?" And I'm like, "Wait, what?"
Are you Roger?
And he had heard my first interview on Bigfoot Society, so, and of course he lives in Middle Tennessee now, so he knew where it was at. But um, I like the fact that you're thinking that way because you just blew my mind, but every bit of it made sense. I know that if you put a fish in too small of a tank, it'll stay small, and you let it out where it gets more food and air and oxygen and all that, it's gonna reach its potential. So maybe these things have found, maybe by accident, maybe not.
You want to hear another controversial and trippy theory?
Of course.
Yeah,
You
is that even a question?
you want to get nuts?
Bring it on, Bubba.
Yeah.
And my tinfoil hat is like right there. I can go grab it and put it on. if you want.
You won't even need it. You won't even need it. This is wide open. Government's already listening. So, and just if the government is
Right.
listening, I will never push it so far that it would endanger me or my family. So don't truly worry about me, but please show me the man
Disclaimer.
behind the curtain. Thank you.
Disclaimer.
Yeah. Oh God. Wait, what were we going to rip on? I'm sorry.
You said something very
You said
controversial.
another crazy theory.
Oh, yeah. So I started to do some research and I said, okay, some people, Native Americans and others, believe that maybe what we're dealing with is like Neanderthal, or Homo erectus, or these little relic tribes of them that survive because they're savvy and they are in remote areas where we just don't go, or the government keeps them locked off. So, but no one ever said, like, well, what if it's Homo sapiens sapien? So once again, just because I like Big Thoughts by Jack Dandy, could it be humans that are Bigfoot? And then I always think I'm like kind of an idiot as I enter it. And then once again, it's like, well, that's interesting that you ask. Okay. So if you believe in evolution, this is going to be hard for you. If you believe in adaptation, spontaneous adaptation, and willpower manifestation, and that maybe we have more power and animals have more power in this world to adapt, then this might resonate with you. Okay. So in a nutshell, if we were to go into the woods in 10 generations, we would look like cavemen. Our hair would be long, our skin would even darken a little bit, just a tad. It would be more about living in harmony with nature as opposed to the styles that we're into now. Okay, within 100 generations, if someone caught a glimpse of you running and hiding, remember your whole point is to live in the woods and stay away from us, the ones that turn technology. You are living in harmony with nature, with God, whatever you want to call it. You would appear to be like a Bigfoot. And now, once again, stay simple. What happens in nature? What frog, what fish, what buck gets the girl?
Dominant.
The biggest, dominant, healthiest one. And which one does it want to be with? The biggest, healthiest, most badass, beautiful doe. That is what would happen. So just through breeding, we would increase in our size. Okay. It wouldn't be about personality. I'd be lucked out. I'd be like, man, like, oh, big personality doesn't matter. This sucks. Um, but so those are just natural factors. Now, if you begin, let's say we begin to fall in love with the human form, we see this for what it is, as an avatar meant to be like honed and to be as impressive as the large cat or the bear, whatever, because you're a combo of all of them. Then what would you do? I'll tell you what you do. You'd get down, you would spider crawl, you would sneak up and grab it, snap its neck without it being awake, just laying there. You would be the perfect apex predator. And when you do that, a spider crawl, what does that naturally do? I call it the gymnast principle. You know why gymnasts have the most beautiful bodies ever? Because they hold stuff. The rest of us, we get through it, you know. These dudes are in there just holding things, going, Coach, can I stop? My arm's going to break. But when you hold that, it builds. You want a massive upper body. These are easy experiments you can do. They're just pain in the butt. Walk around on your arms for days. Just do it. Veins, you will pop up. Now imagine doing that from when you were little, and all your inspirations are doing it too. And dude, your traps would explode. Your shoulders would enlarge. You're eating a raw natural diet. You're eating the organs again. We're back to the organs. You are growing. Your traps get so big, it will give the appearance of a lack of a neck. Your mandibles will increase in size because you go back to eating real food. You'll be chewing. Our mouths are getting smaller. Your mouth will be getting bigger. And then by 1,000 generations, you are Bigfoot, especially if hyperbaric and the ability to utilize the ancient trunks of trees or the perfect confluences of rivers at underground areas. And with their ancient wisdom, who's to say they don't have historical wisdom, you will be the equivalent of a Bigfoot, but not so big, you know, that I don't think you're 13 feet, but who knows? Giantism runs in all of them, right? Talk about deep ocean, a lot of giantism down there. So anyway, that's my theory. My theory is that Bigfoot, or some of the ones we are coming across, are just humans that said to civilization and said, I love you, God. So
Yeah.
I think that's something, and why when people see him, they're like, dude, it looked like my lost brother, just exaggerated features. Have you ever been to remote Vietnam, remote Africa? Everybody has exaggerated features when they're way on the fringe. This is the beyond the fringe. This is into the great wild, the sacred wild. Out there, they look how we once looked, because that's the true look.
And I tell you something else. You mentioned the gymnast, being around training athletes and all. The kids that grew up in the country working hard had
Like,
had more total body strength and their muscle density. Like, you could have a kid that worked hard growing up and a kid the same size with workout muscles, and you can't pick this guy up that
yep,
worked hard, but you can pick this other fellow up. So the muscle density
yep.
is different too. So wow.
He must ate his cornbread when he was little.
Dang,
Heck
dang,
yeah.
Ryan's making us think more than I thought he would, but thank you. Thank you. I mean,
Well, I'm not giving it all away in one, but in my opinion, right? And here's what I toss out to everyone. Like, I have a theory on what Bigfoot is, on what Loch Ness is, on what the Kraken is, on what ghosts are, on what most UFOs. Like, if you haven't at least committed, but you're not telling anyone, but you're committed to what you believe they are with an open mind that it might be different, then what the hell are you doing late at night? Like,
yeah,
tell me, are you getting stuff done? Because I'm doing this, you
yeah,
know? And yeah, I'll come back again and we can talk more and we can dive all over the place. But you should have a good theory. And then people more passionate or smarter sometimes, or have better funds, that's the main one, and time. I hope they hear something that they're like, oh, that's it. And if it resonates with you, because you said at the very beginning that you trust your gut. And I would encourage absolutely everyone on this journey to begin to shut off the noise, the media, all that stuff, and try to go back here, because this don't lie.
right,
You know it. You can tell when someone's a good person, a bad person, usually when it's a little dangerous, when it's really happy. Try to be present. And the beauty of learning to be present with that part of you is that it will put you in the woods, in the mind frame, in the body frame that you need to witness these things, right? Like, if they are ninja and they are that fast, you better be tuned in. And that's it.
yeah.
You know? Yeah.
And we've heard of you know, bad encounters, I guess, but the majority of them seem to not want to hurt people. I mean, we've had rocks thrown at us. We've had boulders thrown, but the boulders were thrown in the woods the other way, hitting limbs,
Mhm.
maybe 30, 40 pounders, I'm guessing. And,
I mean, if they
I
wanted to hit you, they could, but they
yeah,
choose not
yeah,
to.
yeah. But, you know, I know how big they are. I've seen them, and that's the scary part because
Yeah.
they are the boss of the woods. There's no
Mm.
doubt. Once you lay eyes on one, all of that goes away. I was 14. I had my little shotgun. I was a little badass, right?
Mhm.
Once you see
Mhm.
something like that, that all goes away. Reality hits slaps you in the face, and I'm just glad we can talk about it now. I mean,
And
that's just
that and see, that's something that's very interesting that people have to understand is that we are an apex predator that has, for the most of us, we have chased away anything that could hurt us. So when you're on the fringe, and for most of us, we don't have military training. We're not just naturally cool like you, Roger, at 14 with your gun. The rest of us, we do crap our pants. And we're like, oh my God, because we have no reference point for that. We don't live on the fringe where there could be violence that could hurt us. And that hits you like a freight train. And for 2 times that I've been around these things, I had what I call primal fear. Dude, I've
mhm.
been near Big Bear, the cat, like everything. And I'm not saying I'm not scared. I'm definitely healthy, like scared, like big gator, like what the? Um, but I didn't even see these things. And I was condensing my body into a spring that was going to pop so hard that I would have launched 40 yards, but blew my knees out because I was scared. Like I
Yeah.
was the first person who ever got scared. And that's real. And so people have to understand when this happens, it's like surviving an accident. You go through every range of emotion in a half a second, possibly. So anyway, but I think you
Yeah.
tune that frequency enough, that half a second becomes 2 seconds, and 2 seconds in heaven, I don't know, pretty cool.
It's
Pretty
it's
cool.
definitely it
You
definitely
mentioned
changes you.
frequent
Yeah.
sorry.
Go ahead.
So you mentioned frequency, so you seem to be on a lot of, fun conspiracies and, thoughts and
Oh yeah.
ideas on the subject. What are your thoughts on frequencies being involved with the Bigfoot and cryptid subject matter?
Yeah, I think at this point, I think they self-regulate. So I
Mhm,
think they can do that with their own natural fortitude and gift.
mm,
And I also think that it's a two-part mystery. And that's why people are having trouble like understanding because I've seen footage of them, they like kind of cloak out in a way.
mhm,
Footage of them just vanishing. So then you have these tracks and they just vanish. Like, and sometimes not in a spot where it could be a cave, it could be water, it could be they spider crawled, distribute their way. It just ends. Like why is that happening,
mhm,
and if you actively pursue the truth, then the truth should be what turns you on, what turns you on, and it should be getting there even if you fall in love with certain theories along the way. And
mhm,
along this really beautiful journey, I would say of everything that ever scared me, the only one is, yeah, being in a haunted house, demons. I grew up with The Exorcist and Poltergeist, and they were like, don't watch it when you're 14 years old and 1 month. And I looked at on 14 years in 1 month and 1 day, and then I'd watch it, and I wonder why I'm scared to death. Or seeing
Right.
Jaws, and when everyone's gets out of the pool at night, you looked at me, you go, I'll give you $1,000 to jump in that pool at night, and I'd be like, absolutely not. Screw you,
Yeah.
Spielberg. Screw you, Shark.
mm-mm.
Like, no, dude, those movies destroy you, right? And then how are you supposed to get back in the game?
Yeah. I I know you're talking about the movies and a lot of movies never scared me. Jaws scared me, but not as much because I
Yeah.
cannot go in the water.
Oh, your
Freddy
butt's so tense that you're like, if there was
yeah,
walnut
right.
there, I would have cracked it.
Watertight, right?
Yeah,
Freddy Krueger terrified me because I had
yeah,
to go to sleep.
yeah.
So you're talking about, you feel safe at home, but if you have something paranormal going on, that's out the window. So what do you do? Where do you go?
So
So,
Mhm,
here, yeah. So here's what the gift that came to me later in life. So my brother used to have a show called Cosmic Cantina, and they interviewed this gentleman named Patrick Jackson, reverse engineer, IT specialist. And he grew up in a town where they had this black monk that would cross the street. Everyone would see it during the daytime, any other time, and they would just see it, and it was just a ghost. And one day, he just happened to be the one in town meant to. Every 10,000 person create an innovation that make the rest of us have a beautiful life. But he was like, huh. Seems like a pattern. Seems more like a computer, like a glitch, like a
oh,
technological like flicker. And
Mhm.
so he began to explore that, and he began to say, okay, well, what are we overlooking? We grew up on Hollywood movies. We want big ships, we want big lasers, we want big aliens. What if it's like nature? What if it's simple and nearly invisible because it isn't spectacular? Look at ghost sightings, look at Bigfoot sightings, look at UFO sightings, look at even underwater sightings. And there's one thing that is universal across all of them, and that is orbs, Foo Fighters, will-o-wisps. Call it whatever you want, but it is a ball of light. What is it? Once again, I
Mhm.
am winking and I'm imploring this audience to go in the direction that is less sexy and to see what that is. And if you really want your mind and you want to be angry at me and hate this theory, but have it resonate powerfully, because I think he's right, you read Patrick Jackson's Quantum Paranormal. It will wow you. It is why I am no longer afraid of haunted houses, because here's what I believe is happening when you hear scratching in the attic. And it ain't, Norwegian rats, which I've dealt with, and they suck. Or you feel presence, or let's say you're even lucky enough, I would say, because I'm the weirdo, that you see a scary witch that shrieks you and you run out of the house. I'm telling you, until someone disproves it, what is actually happening is holographic technology is being used to trigger your fear sensors and move you away so that these things, these monitors of DNA on this earth, can broadcast their signal, it's on a grid. Everything is on a grid. If you don't adhere to that yet, spend time in it. It's a grid, and they report on us. Somebody, God, Egyptians, whatever, are watching us. And they're using technology we now have. Have you seen the drone shows over Dubai? Have you seen that they can change the weather and they're flaunting the weather? Have you seen holographic technology that the military is flaunting? If you just put them together, somebody put them together. Once again, not the smartest guy in the room, but I can put a bunch of cool tech together. We can already do what is being done. And now if you include quantum tunneling and the ability to phase out, phase in, the ability to show up, use sound to change your opinion, to black out something. So if a Bigfoot's walking and you're walking, it just creates a screen, reruns a new sound, and you walk right by each other and never know. Because maybe, just maybe, we are these beautiful animals in this zoo that appears to have open walls, but in reality, there is tech keeping us separate. And I think that is what people are mostly running to in almost all the situations. I think the other things are there, but I think that's what it is. So do not be afraid in your home. And if you have true problems, talk to me and I will tell you how to clean your house, and it will make it stop completely, or it should, unless that
I
shit's very deep.
I bought this home,
Yeah.
by feel. I walked in this
Mhm.
place and I'm like, "It feels right." It does. I didn't feel any,
Mm-hmm.
dark, whatever, and, I bought this home 20 years ago because it was one of the only ones that felt correct.
Yeah.
'Cause
We did that when we were buying houses too, or, we would go in some, I'm like, "Mm-mm, this one ain't right."
no,
Trust in
uh,
your gut. You guys are on it. You're on it.
Yep,
well, now, learning
especially
more
when you're
about the
sensitive to that kinda stuff.
yeah, exactly. Learning more about the energies and th th I'm gonna tell you the truth. If you'd have said that to me 5 years ago,
Yeah.
I'd have been like, "What?" But I followed right along with it, and the more you learn about natural things, the more that makes sense.
Yeah.
I never dreamed that I would be watching, documentaries on quantum physics,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because, I've got Ron Morehead's book now. I'm reading it,
Thank you,
plus
Doug.
we
Yeah.
interviewed him, last was it 2 weeks ago?
It was 2
And,
weeks ago.
and getting prepared, and I sent him a message. I said, "Ron, I seriously wasn't ready for this in the past, but I'm ready. Thanks for putting this out there,"
Yeah.
which, we always say, "Is it paranormal or normal?" Because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of it's normal. We just people haven't been exposed to it, and it scares them. So,
Yep.
yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right on a lot of points. What we find out, I hope we find out something in our lifetime. But
Yeah.
me and you getting gray in our beards, so
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Kids will
joking.
gray out. Let me tell
I'm
you.
I'm picking with you. I had to pull a little Tate on you there.
Oh, that's
Um,
all right. That's all right. People should have warned you too. Getting close to 50, you're like, listen, is it dark in this restaurant when I'm staring at this menu, or are these letters too? You know,
Letters get smaller. Yeah.
something's wrong. It's not me. It can't be
Man,
me.
I pulled a move the other night. I was talking to my wife's sister, and
Yeah.
she leaned in to whisper across the table, and I did the ear thing. I pulled it around. She looked at me like, "What are you doing?" I get the little horn out. But man, I don't want to keep you too long. I know your time's valuable. You can stay as long as you want, but I really appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you what you did for me when you didn't know me. So that tells me a lot about you, and even the discussion tonight, you can tell that you care about people, the subject, and we need to keep people comfortable enough to stay and listen. And if we can do that, and we can have great guests like you on, then we've done what we're meant to do, I think. So
you are the greatest part of finding Bigfoot was creating a safe place for people to come, stand, speak this, be seen for what they experience, be loved for what they experience, and then take that healing home. You're providing a place where that happens on the reg. So yeah, you're very important, and it's awesome. So yeah, keep it up.
Well, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Amanda, do you have any questions for Ryan before we get out? She usually has
No,
good
I
questions.
mean, I have some fun stuff that he mentioned and some other things, but I'll let people go and listen to those on some other shows that he's interested in. Though, thank you for sharing your theories and stuff that you have. Like I said, that hyperbolic chamber idea, that
Yeah.
exactly, just
Well,
mind blown. That's
what-
great. I'm definitely going to dig into some more science on that.
What's
Dig.
mind blowing about it
Yeah.
is it may all make sense.
It does. It makes sense.
We're using it. If they really exist in nature, albeit maybe rare, but with a little ingenuity, you could build one.
Mhm.
I don't know, I'd love to hear from someone someday that calls up and goes, "Hey, here's an airline ticket, get on a plane and get here if you want to bear witness to this." And
Yeah.
then, you know what I mean? Like, I hope.
Like,
And-
I'm on my way, bro.
I'm on my way, bro. And yeah, man, for everyone that's listening, like, don't think that anything you're trying is too ridiculous, because until someone proves what just works perfectly every time, like, trust your gut. If you take anything from here, get back in touch with your true self, trust your gut, and weird stuff will start happening. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's it.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank everybody for being here. The people tomorrow on the podcast platforms, thank y'all for listening. We really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you guys all very much.
Ryan, we've got a almost 4-minute outro. I think you'll like it.
I can't wait. I'm gonna be
All right.
dancing, so let's go.
Yeah, he was dancing backstage, y'all. It made me want to dance. It's just infectious, his energy. I'll probably crash later just from watching him talk.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
You're good.
Hey,
man.
you'll sleep good. That'll be all right.
Yeah. Welcome about that. You're welcome about that.
All right. See y'all later. Thank you, Ryan.
Good night, y'all.
If you need anything, holler at us. Here we go.
Down in the pines where the water runs black, where the moss hangs low and the night leans back. The stories whisper about a shadow tall, big feet moving where the moonlight falls. Some say it be, some say it ghost in the trees. Some say trouble blowing in with the breeze. But around here, man, we know the call, or we just call them friends of Squatchin Holler. So light that fire, let the cattails shake, hear the night birds cry and the copperheads wake. If you hear a howl in the Georgia fall, it ain't no wind and it ain't no dawn. When the creek runs cold and the shadows get taller, yeah, you cross a line in a Squatchin Holler, where the legends walk and the brave men falter. Better mind your step in that Squatchin Holler. So light that fire, let the swamp drum roll. You can hear that beast right down in your soul. If you hear a grunt from the river call, it ain't no bullfrog barking at all. When the swamp runs still and the crickets get softer, you're not alone in the Squatchin Holler, where the brave think twice and the fools walk farther. Lord, keep watch on that Squatchin Holler. Some say he guards at old Pine Ridge, some say he walks from bridge to bridge. But one thing's sure, when the night comes down, something big still calls this ground. So bank that fire, let the night get deep, let the willows whisper while the kudzu creeps. If you catch a glimpse through the midnight holler, just nod your head